for the MVP award. Who do you feel is the favorite and the front runner right now?
I don't know. That's not for me to answer. Obviously, being in the run in the last 2 years, has been whatever. This year, I've taken a different approach. Whatever happens, happens. We wouldn't love to, win one. That's the best award anyone can get.
A big what's up to everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So there has been a major update over the last week, one that many Philadelphia fans most certainly cannot be used to. Joel Embiid, Cameroonian big man, former troll, and son of the process, has officially been named the favorite, according to Vegas odds, to win the NBA's most valuable player at the end of the season. Now, normally this would not be breaking news because, well, this isn't finalized. This is not the last final poll, as it legit just is a odd change for who's going to win or who Vegas thinks is going to win. But it is important to speak on it regardless, because for the first time in his career, there has been some love being thrown towards Embiid's way, and not just with Vegas, not just from Vegas, but from the sports media networks and talking heads as well. I do not know, and I cannot count on my hands how many people I have heard on these talking shows, on these nationally syndicated shows, vocally and proudly exclaim Embiid as their most valuable player of the NBA, almost as if they are creating and setting a place for the narrative of his eventual MVP win to occur. And am I the only one that's completely confused by this? I'm not talking about the stats, or rather Embiid's stats, which speaks for themselves at this point for him to win this award. This man is averaging the most points per game in the league for a second year in a row as a center, but with legit momentum behind him from the media, which Malik El-Shabazz, otherwise known as Malcolm X, called the most powerful entity on the earth, behind him is just wild. Would it be crazy to theorize that beyond the complete dominance, independent dominance himself on both ends of the floor, people are starting to reflect on the past and realize that they did Joel Embiid wrong by not giving him this award before? Especially last year, all three candidates at the moment are worthy to be in consideration, to be in the conversation of this award. Miss me with all that Jason Tatum is being overlooked in all of this, because no one believes that, not even you do. But anyway, back to the point. Embiid makes the most sense here. You cannot defend giving Jokic 3 straight MVPs, putting him in the same category, in the same rarefied air as Larry Bird, Bill Russell, and Wilt Chamberlain, all who have won back-to-back-to-back MVPs. Are we really stating and saying here that he is of their caliber? I don't know. Maybe if you're from Colorado, you might. But all I know is Larry Bird had already won a championship before even, being in that talk to get back-to-back-to-back MVPs. Bill Russell had already won 2 championships by that point. And Giannis has had an all-star cast surrounded by him, beyond missing the important games down the stretch as of late. You can't deny it. Personally, I might get some hate for this, what I'm about to say, but I honestly think Jokic is honestly having the better overall season compared to the 3, to be honest. But based off of the tie between him, Embiid, and Giannis, Embiid has dominated all of the matchups so far against the other 2. You cannot give an edge to the guy in Denver that has won the tie the last 2 years. That is trash. That is not fair. And that goes against competition overall, especially, once again, if they're all equally tied in terms of MVP consideration. Though Jokic might be having the better season, allegedly, Embiid is owed something for his troubles and absolute dominance over the last few years. This is now where the league, the media, the talking heads, the fans are starting to give him his flowers. You can even look up these podcasts. Players say that Embiid is the MVP. And I would say that Embiid is the people's MVP. All of you Jokic fans, maybe y'all would have gotten the trophy this year if folks didn't rob Embiid of his trophy last year, despite his co-star quitting on him and the media saying that he cannot carry the Philadelphia 76ers by himself. Through the All-Star break, Embiid had the Sixers as a top 3 seed night after night at the Wells Fargo Center. And still, Joel Embiid put the team in a position of leverage to acquire James Harden, even though everybody and their fathers said we should just take any scraps for Ben Simmons, that we would not get a superstar back for Ben Simmons. Well, I got them receipts and eventually would finish the season as a scoring champion. Last year was his true MVP season, in my opinion, but winning the trophy a year later will feel even sweeter. it is what it is. Disrespect will be avenged. Joel Embiid, your 2023 NBA MVP. Hopefully.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily motivate me, but, you know, I mean, it's the same thing with every big in the league. It doesn't matter who I play. Just feel like, you know, I'm going to do my thing regardless. I'm going to dominate. There's no disrespect to, you know, any of them. But, you know, MVP's Defensive Player of the Year, you know, that doesn't, you know, mean anything to me. I'm still going to be the best player on the floor.